Good morning, all of you. I'm Anusha Ramakrishnan and I'm a Teach for India Fellow. And I teach in a municipal school in Delhi. I teach 24 secondary girls. And so before I talk about my vision for my students, I think it would be a good idea to give you a brief background of where my kids come from and their community. Because that will help you better understand my vision for my students and help you do it. So my kids come from this community which discriminates against women a lot, and being girls they face a lot of discrimination in the family, and the community is also extremely impoverished, and on top of that it is extremely aggressive and violent. So my kids face domestic abuse, and their parents are absolutely not invested in education. They cannot think beyond primary education for their daughters, and so most of my kids come to school primarily because of the midday scheme, which ensures at least 1 square meal a day for them. So given this background, let me tell you what happened when I first entered the school. So when I first entered, I had absolutely no idea about the community or their background and their families. So in the initial first few weeks, when I was still struggling with classroom management and lesson planning, it was during that time that I was first asked to draft a vision for my class. And I still remember what I wrote in that document. I wrote that I want all my girls to finish college and I want them to turn into young and confident women who are extremely well educated and well read and know about their rights and who can stand for themselves. And so I had that vision for them, and then weeks passed and then months passed, and I slowly became acquainted with the community and their parents. And I saw so many things in the past 1 year which affected me so deeply as a person and as a teacher. So one day when I was walking to school, I saw this man sitting on a heap of garbage, and not eating out of garbage, but actually eating garbage itself. So that was the level of impoverishment in my community. And then one day I saw my kids' parents fighting in public, and I saw men physically abusing women on the road. And I also saw a mother crying in front of me because she lost a child, because her mother-in-law did not allow her to go to the hospital alone without her husband. So all these things really changed me as a person. But I never considered very seriously as to how these things are affecting my students and their lives. So one day what happened was, this incident happened in my class around a month ago, and so I was talking to my kids about their end of year exams, and I was telling them how important it is to do well in those exams, because if they don't master those objectives, then they will not be able to understand the more challenging objectives in the next grade. So one of the kids in my class, whose mother makes glass bangles, so she was very involved in the discussion, and she raised her hand, and she jumped up and she said that I'm going to study really well for the test, and I'm going to study really well for the rest of my life. And being a teacher, I was very extended, and I asked her, so till which grade are you planning to study? And she had this very proud look on her face, and she said that I'm definitely going to study till the 6th grade, come what may. And it was such a strange moment for me, because here I was making plans that they are going to get into college and they're going to turn into really confident women. And there they were battling their social realities, and they were battling physical, financial constraints. They were battling parents who absolutely did not care whether they were educated or not. They were battling the community which alienates children who study too much. And I realized how difficult it is for them to even attend school, and how invested they must be to come to school every day. And that day I went back home in a daze, and it took me some time to internalize their reality. And frankly, it took me even more time to gather enough courage to revisit my vision for my students. And that day I really tried to critically analyze and examine my vision. And I was thinking that maybe my vision is just too high a bar for them, and maybe my kids cannot achieve it. And I kept thinking that, and I tried to convince myself to change the vision. But somehow I just could not convince myself enough. And the one thing that kept me firmly rooted in my vision was that if I don't believe in them, then the parents will definitely they won't believe in them, and then no one else will, and the kids will never achieve anything. So the realization that I need to believe in them kept me firmly rooted in my to my vision. And there was one thing that kept ringing in my head. So there's this quote by Napoleon which says that leader is a leader in hope. I completely disagree. I think a leader is a leader in belief. And I really firmly believe that all teachers are leaders. And as a leader, you really need to believe in your children. And which is why my vision for my kids has not changed at all. It is still, I still want my kids, I still see all my kids entering college, all my 24 girls entering college, and I still see all of them turning into confident young women who are extremely well educated and well read and who are standing up for their rights and who are facing the society. I still see all of that. And a good teacher not only believes in his or her children, but I sometimes wonder what are the other qualities that a good teacher should have which moves a teacher from being good to excellent. And I've thought about this question a lot because like all of you, I just don't want to be a good teacher. I want to be an excellent teacher. And I believe that excellent teaching is not a process, but it is an environment. So an excellent teacher creates an environment of learning where a child wants to learn and the child wants to explore. And within that environment, an excellent teacher also plans really well and ensures that not even a second is wasted, so that the whole process is very beneficial for the student. So wanting to be an excellent teacher, I first focused on creating that environment in my class, that environment of learning. And so I've tried hard to create a culture in my class where there is no teacher and student, but the culture is such that everyone is learning together. So the kids are accountable to me for their work and I'm accountable to the kids for their learning. And I've done that by adding my name in the on-time tracker that I have in the class, and I've also done that by asking the kids to stop me whenever I start talking in the vernacular language instead of English. And I've also tried hard to create a culture where kids feel free to express themselves. So I incentivize out-of-the-box thinking and I incentivize creative solutions. And I also incentivize questions, and questions which cut through subjects, and questions which might not be related to the particular objective that I'm teaching, but just as a question which crops up in a child's mind. So the kids really feel free to express themselves. And one more thing which I firmly believe is that you cannot create that environment unless and until everyone is having fun in the class. So I'm a major believer in having fun in the class, and to do that you really need to make a very interpersonal connection with all your children. You need to know their likes and dislikes, their pet peeves, what they do in their free time. And I have really tried hard to forge that connection with my kids and by talking to them at length. And so once I've created that environment, I also believe that the teacher should also plan really well so that the whole process is very efficient. So I plan really well for my lessons as well, and I plan much in advance, and in fact I have multiple ways to teach a particular objective, and I also have many backup plans just in case we finish early. And I think that excellent teaching is an art which can only be mastered with time and patience, and frankly I'm still trying to master that art. And I just want to end it by saying that I think it's a brilliant decision that all of you have made to work with kids, and I know for a fact that all of you will have so much fun with your kids, and I really want to wish you all the best. Thank you.